Here we go once again. We're only going to Carpinteria today, but this is the third time this week I had to make a little pilgrimage out of town. I made believe like I didn't like it. I was upset, but I like driving by myself. You can either listen to music or chill or just not have to deal and just enjoy the cruise. Yeah, I like driving. I used to drive back and forth from San Diego a lot. Those first few years, because when you graduate high school and then for people that leave your hometown and then you go to school somewhere out of town, there's kind of this magnetism to come back home for that first year or two because you're still kind of trying to hold on to those friendships with your buddies back in town. Or in my case, I was still dating a girl for the first year and a half, 2 years that I was down in college. So the whole freshman year I was in the dorms, I was still dating a girl that was back here in high school. She was still in high school. She was like a junior. Yeah, when I got with my first gal, I was a senior in high school and she was in 10th grade, which doesn't seem that bad. But then, yeah, she still had 2 more years of high school. So we tried to hold on, and then her senior year we were still kind of holding on, and then I just ghosted her. I think I just stopped talking to her. It was the most immature thing ever, definitely. And I think it was because I was cheating on her. Yeah, I was into some new chick that moved into our complex, and she I don't know, she gave me eyes. So I eventually just got with her and felt terrible about cheating on her and didn't tell her anything and just kind of ghosted her. And then something happened, and then we were back together maybe for a few weeks or a month when I came back to town. But then yeah, she basically like dumped me, or we parted ways. It was fine. I don't think you really are too excited when you're supposed to go to prom with someone and then they just don't show up. And then she had to go with some dude that's always been wanting to date her forever, so I'm sure that guy was stoked. So hey, somebody was happy with the situation. But yeah, and that was part of the reason why I would come back to town a lot and drive back and forth from San Diego. Gosh, I remember one time I came back for the weekend and we went to a concert. I want to say it was in LA, or like it was LA or Thousand Oaks or something. Went to the concert in wherever it was, came back to Goleta, hung out until like 4 in the morning, probably so we could bone or something. And then I didn't go to sleep, and then at 4 I drove to back to San Diego, and got there, I feel like at like 7 or 8 in the morning, and then fell asleep until like noon or something. But yeah, I also think I remember falling asleep on the road at like 5 in the morning, just super exhausted. And that was a bad choice on my part. I'm glad it worked out and nothing too serious happened. But yeah, I would probably, and I didn't have a car that first year, but my roommate was my buddy Jerry, and he did have a car, a 300ZX. So we used to come, I want to say at least once a month, if not 2 times or 3 times. Sometimes we came back to back. I think 1 or 2 times I came to town and didn't even tell my parents. think one time was when they were off on like vacation or doing something, and they weren't at their house, so I came back and stayed at my house and partied. And then another time, I just came because my friend's parents were gone, so I stayed at his house for the weekend for 2 days. So, but used to drive back and forth a lot, and I would take like a more scenic route, which would take like a half hour or an hour longer, but it went through, off the beaten path, and I like driving, dude. I like driving. I wish, thinking back, my last long drive was for that CIF match, which we lost, but I was having such a good time on the way, just going down memory lane of all the times that we would drive to my grandma's house that way. It would have been a much more fun ride home if we had won, but now in silence, just gritting my teeth and thinking about all the ways we could have been better that day. But anyways, I like road tripping. I'm hoping that when all my girls are older, we can start going places when they're not in like little car seats and stuff, and they can kind of entertain themselves in the car. So I've never minded having to make runs for work to like downtown or around town, or like Oxnard the other day when I went. So yeah, driving. Had my Toyota Tacoma with the red matching camper shell. I love that car, man. I really did. It just, you just couldn't see very many people in it. Excuse me. Couldn't see very many people in that car at all. Gosh, in San Diego, the last time I was down there was for Chris's wedding in like March of 2018. So gosh, almost 4 years. Remember Melissa and I were talking about the house and what we were gonna do in some spots. I'm remembering that's how uncomfortable I was feeling, just sitting waiting and like not, hadn't seen a lot of my friends for a long time, and it wasn't like easy conversation to slide into. So I was literally talking to my wife about what we were gonna do with some of the parts of the house, which I could honestly care less really about. Just not something that excites me, but I guess I was just looking to beat the uncomfortableness of the situation at the time. But anyways, that was a fun time. We were trying to get an Uber, but the Uber said it was gonna be too late, so Melissa ended up driving, and we still drank, and she sobered up, and then we got home, and then I think we smashed in the hotel room. But gosh, I think that was the last time her and I went away for anything, because it was just Skylar back then, so somebody must have watched. I'm assuming Constance must have watched her at our house or something like that. But that was cool. Look at this beautiful day in Santa Barbara. We are too spoiled here, I swear. Could be so much worse. That's what I always have been trying to keep telling myself, is that it could be so much worse, and these are all just not even problems. Just worrying about volleyball tryouts and getting uniforms, and if the tournament's gonna all figure itself out, and that's like, who cares? If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And if parents or players are angry at you, let them be angry. What are they gonna do? Hold it over me for the rest of my life and constantly badger me and like their life mission will be to make my life a living hell? It's possible, but I don't think it's very likely. And also just, just trying to remember and remind myself to appreciate all the things I have, and that, you know, I've been holding this like volleyball career and situation. I'm putting it up on such a pedestal, but it's like, for what? I've not been doing the steps to ensure that all my kids play club, and I'm not even coaching in the club, and I'm not available to be around for a ton of touches all the time, even though it's been going about 1 or 2 days a week during the summer. So that's more than we used to do. I mean, obviously when we had first period volleyball, that was a lot different, but that's just not, I'm not a teacher, and they won't give me a period as a non-teacher, and it just kind of is what it is. And so with such minimal touches, to think that we're gonna be super successful is unrealistic, and really, how am I gonna put that type of pressure on my players? Why not just create an environment where I'm just encouraging them to be focused and have fun and hustle and get after it, and not have these huge expectations of win or nothing. Because really, it's not about the end product. I'm starting to realize it's about the journey and the time. Are you enjoying the time you're spending? And does it appear that, you know, they're enjoying their time that they're spending? And obviously, if we win, to boys, it seems like that's more important. But I mean, gosh, lately, I haven't had too many boys over the years that really seem to be super dedicated to win and at all costs. I don't think since those 2018 kids. I was gonna say Eli, but I think Dan and Parker were a couple kids that were really dying to get after it. And I want to say that a couple of my kids right now are, but, you know, either they can't keep themselves healthy or they're spreading themselves too thin. But who am I to say stop doing this so you can focus on this? For what, you know? None of these kids, maybe 1 or 2 might go play in college, but it doesn't seem like they're on the radar yet. And if by your sophomore, junior, or senior year, if you're not on someone's radar, it's probably not going to happen. So I think what's the best we can do? We can probably try and have some fun, you know, right? And just enjoy and be obnoxious and hoot and holler and smile and laugh and just try and get after it. And having said all that, it's just gonna have to be more tricks in practice. I gotta trick them to make them think they're not working or improving, but that we're just playing some game, some fun game, but really there's some sort of muscle memory and improving in our passing and our defense. Pretty mediocre at best last night when we had a little practice, and actually there was quite a few of them there. It also illustrated to me that I don't really have a clue who, other than one of my setters, I don't really have a clue what the team's gonna be. And that might be an easier season this year, just having options. And it might just be next man up each day. It might just be the kids that are proving themselves in practice will get the first crack at it. But I am noticing kids that are less consistent, that's for sure. Like, I think I saw a kid get set maybe a dozen times last night, and I think he got 1 kill. And then everything else was hit in the antenna or hit way out or hit in the net. I was almost in shock of how inefficient it was. I thought the odds are in your favor to make it at least like just by luck more than 1 in 12, but I could be wrong. Maybe he was just having an off night. But it seemed like they were having a good time, and also it's I don't think I'm even gonna ask kids anymore if they want to win or not. It's a rhetorical question. They obviously should say or would say yes, but I think it just has to be proven. So I think it's my job to just make this season fun as possible, and in as many different ways, and maybe even including some outside of volleyball stuff, which I don't feel too comfortable doing, but might just be the thing that solidifies a little bit more chemistry within the situation. I don't know. I know we got to have a parent meeting and do a barbecue at the end, and it's something we haven't done for a few years because of the Rona. I could have done one last year, but Hollister kind of bailed me out on that one, and everything just happened so fast right at the end of the season, and then just watching the self-destruction online while they were playing up the street. There's a copper right here. Oh, he pulled somebody over. Okay, I thought they were waiting to pull somebody over. 55 in a construction zone, guys. 55 in a construction zone. Yeah, but I think now I'm reflecting on it. I think I just wanted last year's season to end, really. Just because some of those players were just such difficult dudes to get through to, and just kind of their effort and their was a little bit inconsistent, and one of them bailed for Hawaii for a trip and didn't even tell us till the end, and there was just no leadership, and there was nothing was really pulling them together. Having said all that, I mean, there was some talent there, but I guess just couldn't get out of their own way, our own way, and that's my fault for not getting on top of that a little bit earlier. But I think that was another case of I wanted it more than they did. Even when the kids are talented, it's a tough pill to swallow, but I can't want it for them. I think I can just facilitate a environment that's fun to be around and have some practices that are super lively, and maybe that will transform the game time attitude, and there won't be no nerves as much. There's always going to be nerves, but yeah, just why worry about some tryouts when it's just something we got to do, and at least the tryouts will get to be indoors, and I guess it just hasn't been something we've done for a while, but I'm kind of scaling them back, and I mean, tryouts are really only for kids I don't know. There's been quite a good amount of kids that have already showed up, and they're in the fold, so we should be fine. Good thing is we have a freshman setter for the JV team who will probably be my setter next year, and he's pretty nice with it. Good hands. He's a quick study. He's a lefty also, so I'm excited about that, and he can learn from the guy that'll be a senior next year, and we'll be chugging back up hills, but well, actually you don't, because I'm just talking, but I mean, my school's always third in numbers of boys that play club volleyball, and the years that we have a lot, maybe we're second or first, those are the years we've won, or the years we've won, we've had like some of the best kids in town that just happen to go to our school, and they also play club, so it's no mystery. no mystery why the other two schools have been better than us a lot the last 12 years, as they are more committed to the sport, and we have athletes or kids that just don't play club and for whatever reason, and I'm not pushing it hard enough, and or the coach before me has never really been a fan of it, so he wouldn't push it. I think that was just an ego thing because he wanted to prove that his team could win and they didn't have to play club. But I mean, that happened every once in a while, but it's just not, it's not a reality. You're gonna, if you play club, you're gonna play many more months each year, and you're gonna grow a lot faster because of touches. And to get kids to show up to gym, you'd have to do a ton of practicing, and you'd have to have like 12 kids consistently if you're not doing club, and that's a tough thing to do. And people have lives also. So you know what? I think I'm coming to terms with, it's okay that this is just high school volleyball and that we don't play club and that we're most likely not going to get first place. But also it's okay to remember, it's, you never know what's going to happen. Any given day, you know, you can win a match. We've won some over the years. It would be huge if we won with a bunch of kids that didn't play club, and for whatever reason we just came out on top. So I'm excited for the season to start and for the matches and tournaments, and